So I registered Democrat last year. I've never voted Republican. I'm a classic liberal at heart. But since the election, I'm completely blown away by how hateful, stubborn, narcissistic, and sociopathic modern-day liberals and Democrats are, even when confronted with the kind truth. There's no better way to illustrate this than the clip of Van Jones politely, kindly, and simply explaining to the Viewcast why he doesn't think Democrats are going to win in 2020 at this alarming rate.
After the election, I went all over the country. I went to Appalachia. I went to South Central Los Angeles. And here's what I saw. The same pain is everywhere.
Yes.
The same pain. And what breaks my heart is that common pain should lead to common purpose. And common purpose should lead to common projects, and common projects should lead to common sense. Right now, I don't see Democrats looking at the situation and saying, you know what, maybe we drew our circle too small. I love that we're hugging LGBT and Muslims and all the people who usually don't get a hug, we're hugging them. But maybe we need to have a bigger hug and include some of those folks in Appalachia.
But no, be quiet and listen, please. He's trying to explain to you the truth, and you still won't listen. This is how stubborn and narcissistic you have become. So just listen, please.
Exactly what the
People are
DNC
reacting.
chair said. We had Tom Perez on the show, and that's exactly what he said. He said Democrats need
They
to
are
broaden
trying to do that.
Oh, but we had Tom Perez on our show, and that's exactly what he said. If you're paying any attention, most of the enthusiasm on the Democratic side comes from progressives who follow Bernie Sanders and other politicians. If you know anything, you would know that millions of people and millions of young people don't like or trust Tom Perez. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. You keep trying to force feed these politicians like Hillary Clinton and Tom Perez down people's throats, but nobody wants to follow them. Why don't you listen to people and stop trying to force feed them ideologies and politicians that they don't want? This is exactly why Donald Trump won.
Trying to do that.
Listen, there may be some leaders who are. Unfortunately, and I have to be honest, I get in trouble because, I'm honest.
I know you are.
I know you are, baby.
When I listen to liberals when they're not on TV trying to make it sound good, we're still in grief, we're still mad, and we're not just mad at Trump, who we should be mad at, we're mad at every single person who voted for Trump, even people who have no jobs, even people who our hearts should be broken, even coal miners who have black lung disease and who are dying, and Democrats haven't said anything about for years.
When you say we're mad at them, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about a bunch of, you know who I'm talking about. Listen.
He's talking about you. He's not gonna say it, but he's talking about you women who are just nasty all the time and so one-sided. Donald Trump reached out to Bernie Sanders voters and told him, hey, I know you got cheated. I know you got disrespected. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton and women like these doubled down on their nasty rhetoric, calling everybody deplorables and making fun of people and assuming that everybody who likes Trump is a toothless hillbilly. When are you guys gonna learn? Come on, it's getting annoying already.
Be specific, because we're not mad at them.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Listen, the reason I wrote this book is because I think we don't understand each other. And I think we talk past each other. We talk about each other more than we talk to each other. So I wanted to put in a book my best observations, arguments, and resources for how we can find each other again. Because in my conversations with liberals, not you, but too many, it's almost like it's a they, those Trump voters, them. And it's almost like I can't understand how those people could ever do that. And I said, listen, in America, we don't have to agree, but we have to try to understand. So the book is my attempt to try to help us understand. That's all I'm saying.
I've made multiple videos trying to get people to understand why a lot of people voted for Trump. I didn't even vote for him, but I could see why people did. His shift in foreign policy, his understandable criticism with the current state of mainstream media, his breakdown of the barrier of political correctness and just smiling, looking nice and being funny and cool on TV, but lying to everybody. Van Jones is 100% right here, and it's why a lot of modern-day liberals and Democrats have become intolerable. Pointing the finger, hating, claiming love, claiming equality, claiming unity, meanwhile doing the exact opposite, not listening to everybody, not listening to anybody, repeating the same lies over and over and over to the point where they actually believe them, thinking the tens of millions of people who support President Trump are all just rednecks who don't know anything. I mean, what better example of this is Sarah Silverman's backhanded attempt to pretend like she cares about uniting America.
So Chalmette is a working-class suburb of New Orleans that sits right on the banks of the Mississippi River. They are Christian, gun-owning Trump voters who like to gather their whole family around for big Cajun dinners. And on this day, they're going to be joined by a species they had not met before. the Jew. Me, Brandy, the 26-year-old matriarch of the house who made sure the whole family voted for Trump.
Did they have the little hats? The only thing I know, the Jews wear the little hats, huh?
Yarmulkes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm from the Bayou. The Bayou. The Bayou. Like a rat like this big?
Yeah, bigger than that.
What we need is real unity. What we need is real discussion. What we need is real love. What we need is real understanding. This is how you get to somebody. This is how you change somebody's mind or heart. Not by screaming at them and calling them names and threatening them and making them feel unsafe. You do it by communicating, showing love, and showing facts. Unfortunately, a lot of people like the cast of The View don't operate on facts. They operate on pure emotion and oftentimes mainstream media stories that aren't even true. So from a Democratic voter, from a liberal, from somebody who's pretty much a hippie, very peaceful, very loving, very considerate, it's easy to point the finger at conservatives and Republicans, and I'm not saying that they're perfect. I know they're not, and I hold them accountable too. There's ignorance on every side. But it's easy to point the finger. What's much harder is to look in the mirror, point the finger at yourself, and realize you might be a part of the problem. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for considering. And for the sake of America, our children, and the world, please stop being so nasty, so negative, and so narcissistic. Have a discussion, open your mind, open your perspective, and realize that this level of hate, negativity, and delusion will lead to 8 years of Trump. If you really don't like Trump, you won't repeat the same exact mistakes that led to his rise. You will look inward, self-reflect, have some self-accountability, change your ways, and make a better attempt in 2020, get a better candidate, and actually communicate with voters. Thanks.
Always been a rebel boy, watch me living out the system, yeah, I stretch like every day. I be all about my fitness, keep my mind about the stress, so I always beat my sickness. I don't trust no corporation, cause they lie like politicians. I don't